So hey, Lawn Care Nation, running a lawn care business here in the Pacific Northwest for the past 19 years. Mowing in the rain is an inevitable part of life. There's no way to escape it. It can rain for a few days to a week straight at times. And the question comes in how do you do this when there's this transition inevitably happening to battery-powered equipment? And it all comes down to an IPX rating and the type of equipment you're using. So an IPX rating is a rating that's independently given to electronic products, whether it's your smartwatch, your smartphone, headphones, whatever the case may be, or lawnmowers. That are battery powered or electric powered, and it refers to the ingress rating of water and dust for those items. And generally, the rating, the higher the number, the better the rating is. So you want to look for lawn equipment if you're going to be having to mow in the rain that has an IPX rated rating, for one, stated that you can find, and what that rating is. So some equipment, some brands will clearly indicate that they cannot be used in wet weather. I've been using the Crest equipment here, and it is an IPX4 rating on the equipment itself. So IPX4 means that it is rated for being splashed with water. So things like working in the rain is not an issue. The equipment can get wet, and you're fine with it. Now, with their batteries, they actually take it a step further, and it's got a higher rating. It's an IPX5 rating on the Crest batteries, which means that they can withstand a direct stream of water. So not only can they get wet from like rain and stuff, you could literally take a garden hose and hose them off, and they should be fine. As far as working out in the rain, which is what we got to worry about, the Crest stuff is not an issue with that. Absolutely has been fine, even on things like the backpack blower, as you'll see, where the battery is completely exposed on my back. It's not an issue. Some brands will do their ratings and have like jackets and stuff that you have to put the batteries into and have them protected inside of like a plastic like sleeve and stuff like that, and that works as well. But with the Crest stuff, you don't have like the batteries. Like I said, they have an IPX5 rating, so it's not an issue with the batteries getting completely exposed. The only thing that I would say with that is you want to make sure that if you're going to throw the batteries back on the charger, to make sure the contacts and stuff are all dry before you go and put it on your charger that's plugged in to your house, just to prevent any shorts or things like that. But that's just being cautious and making sure that you're not getting into sort of any dangerous situations there. So let's get into it. It's going to be a pretty nasty day, calling for a lot of rain through the day. You can probably hear it on the truck there. So pretty steady rain, but it's a normal day for me. So let's get into it. So you notice here, it's raining pretty good. It's not the heaviest rain, but it's pretty steady. Everything is completely soaking wet. And you'll notice here with the Crest, even the trimmer, the battery is completely exposed there, but it's no issue with that IPX5 rating on the battery and IPX4 rating on the tool itself. So with the Crest mower itself, the battery's protected. It's got a little bit of extra protection, but again, doesn't really matter because they're IPX5 rated. But all the electronics on board and stuff, you don't have to worry about because it is all protected. Now generally what I'll do is I'll still try to mow on the low power, and for a lot of lawns I can get through it even with the heavy wet grass. I do have the high lift blade installed on the mower, so it's got a bit of a bigger wing there to help bag the lawn, so that uses a bit more power than the traditional blade that comes with it. So generally I can do it on the low power. If it's super heavy tall growth, then sometimes I have to bump up the power level to the full power mode to get maximum RPM to create all the lift that's needed. So let's try it on the low power first and see how it goes. So another part of mowing with the battery in the rain is to manage the deck. It's going to get clogged and dirty, so you're going to have to flip the deck over to clean it between every lawn, from front lawn to back lawn, that sort of thing. The nice thing with the battery mower is you don't have to worry about the oil and gas and flipping it on its side and worrying about that. Just need a good pair of gloves to wipe it down. Comes off pretty easily if you keep on top of it. You don't need a scraper or anything like that. Start with pulling the bag off, cleaning up the chute, and then I flip the mower on its side there. And the other thing I like to do is I just flip the mower and just slide the battery out so it's not connected, so I don't have to worry about the blades coming on or anything. Just give it away. You can see it comes off very easily if you keep on top of it. And you just want the bulk. You just want the bulk. So that's good to go. And then go dump the clippings. I'm fortunate that every house in the city has one of those green bins, so I don't have to worry about taking any of the grass clippings with me. The other nice thing about this Crest mower is that electric motor's on an angle, so when I do pull the battery out like that, all I need to do really is just flip it back on its side, and it generally will pop back in on its own. You see there, I was able to mow the whole lawn front and back on the low setting without much issue there. But as the conditions get worse, rain gets heavier, or we encounter much taller grass, then I'll have to bump that up. So something to keep in mind if you're mowing with battery equipment. is the different conditions will require different power consumption. So if you're used to mowing, say 7-8 lawns with high lift blades on this particular unit here, in the rain, when it's working harder or requires you to bump up the power, then it might only be able to mow 4 lawns with that same battery. So you got to be aware of that. So again, with the Cresps backpack blower, you got the battery fully exposed on the back, but again, no issue with that IPX5 rating. This lawn's a bit longer, so you're going to have to crank up the power. Is getting worse. It's gone from bad to worse. See the water coming down on the road there. So when it's raining like this, it's very difficult to film videos because you're always having to reposition the camera, press stop and start and all that sort of stuff. So you don't want to stop in the rain because of the grass buildup under the deck is going to drop clumps and stuff. So generally makes it very difficult to film a video in the rain. But trying to show you guys what a typical day is like. Let's turn on the blower and go from there. So on this particular lawn, the growth was really heavy, really tall and wet. So I did film a little bit holding the camera, and you saw there that I ramped up the power, went to full power mode to try to create as much suction, as much lift as possible. So that's what I'm talking about in those heavy sort of rain periods. Yeah, this is getting pretty crazy, but you can see the crests, even the blower here, battery's completely exposed, no issues, no problem. Oh, so it has turned into quite the wet day. It is coming down heavier and heavier as the day goes on. But we just get through it. So as I mentioned on that last lawn as well, there's different things you can do to sort of manage mowing the lawn a bit easier in the rain. but it all comes at the expense of battery power, right? So with the Crest mower, for example, if I'm using the standard high efficiency blade that came with that mower, I can get through about 10 lawns on one of those 11 amp hour batteries. In heavier conditions, rain, the fall leaves, things like that, I had to switch to high lift blades to create more suction to bag properly. And by just making the switch to high lift blades, it lowered how many lawns I could do on that particular battery to about 7 lawns. So from 10 lawns to 7 lawns. And that's still running it on low power. And in really heavy rain conditions, if I'm having to use the full power plus high lift blades to get through the lawns, then that drops it to about 4 lawns on that same battery that I could do 10 lawns with the high efficiency blade with. So those are all things, all considerations that really come into play when you have really tough conditions in the rain and things are changing. So you might be used to mowing a bunch of lawns on a particular battery, but once the conditions change, you have to take that into account that you may need more batteries than you think. The great thing about the Crest is at least that they charge really quickly. So they have that Cyber system that you can mount in a truck and do the really super fast, like 8-minute charges from 0 to 100% on those batteries. It's a really expensive system. If you can't do that, even the regular rapid charger, that's what I have, that plugs in at home, that will charge those big batteries in 24 minutes. So still way faster, probably a third of what it takes some of the other brands to charge one of their batteries. And this is for that massive suitcase battery. So the Crest is really doable in that sense, that if you've got really good root density and stuff, and you've got 2 or 3 batteries, on really heavy days, what I do is when I'm stopping to use the bathroom at home and stuff, I can pop a battery in, go out, do some more mowing and stuff, and it only takes 24 minutes for that particular battery to charge. And then, you know, in the afternoon, whatever, come back and grab that battery, because I'm able to mow more lawns than it takes me to charge that particular battery. So just another thing. Another thing I want to point out as well is even with the Crest system, I'm using the commercial system, so they do have those IPX weatherproof ratings. Crest does have a residential or prosumer line. I've got the handheld blower for that, but it doesn't have, at least I can't find an IPX rating for the residential line. So that is, at least that I can tell, an advantage of the commercial lineup is being able to have sort of all weather conditions to be able to use your equipment, where even their prosumer line I don't think has the same weatherproof or waterproof ratings that the commercial line does. So just something to make note of. So if you have a mower that is struggling to bag in the rain, or mulch for that matter, one of the things you can do is raise the pitch of the deck. That is, raise the rear end of the deck if you've got independent height control. So you would just do it by lifting the rear wheels up a notch, and that'll help create more airflow underneath to help bag. So just raise it just a hair. So besides making sure your deck is always clean in between mowings, the other thing that I'm doing while I'm mowing is I'm watching the bag. If I'm bagging grass, of course the bag will inflate as the blades start to spin. So if we turn it on, inflate and deflate there. So I'm watching that as it's bagging, because that's letting me know that the airflow is still happening, and once the bag starts to clog, the airflow will stop. If that chute there will clog up, and then the bag deflates. So I'm watching for that to make sure that it doesn't deflate, to make sure that it's constantly bagging. Now the other thing as well is I'm listening for the pitch of the motor, so I know what the motor sounds like when it's mowing and it's clean, but as that deck starts to clog, the pitch of the blade spinning starts to change, and I've recognized that over the years and over experience of using particular mowers, what it exactly sounds like, and know when I need to stop. Clean up. So there you have it, Lawn Care Nation. Hopefully this video answers whether or not you can use battery equipment in the rain, and some practical tips on making that easier. It again all comes down to the brand of equipment you're using, getting something that has an IPX rating that allows for use in the rain, ideally without having jackets and other things that you have to mess around with. Having batteries that you can just expose fully to the rain is the way I would suggest going. Just makes things so much easier to not have to worry about having the batteries get wet or anything like that. Makes a huge difference. So hopefully this video helps you guys with some practical tips and answers those questions on using a battery powered equipment in the rain. So that's it for this one, guys. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing, and leave a comment down below. What do you think of using battery equipment in the rain? And would you be able to run a lawn care business in the rain if you had to, like here in the Pacific Northwest, where you don't have a choice and you just got to get through days like this? Let me know down below.